Benvenuto, welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to lighten things up a little bit. We're going to make pan-seared cod and we're going to have a delicious roasted leeks as our side dish with supper tonight. So first thing we're going to start out with is we're going to go over the ingredients we need for our pan-seared cod. So I've got about 1.5 pounds. For this recipe, you're going to need about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of nice cod fillets, skinless. You could use skin. I don't like skinned fish, so it's skinless. Plus, you'll get that nice golden brown on both sides. We're going to need about 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Of course, fish would not be fish without salt and pepper and the juice of a whole fresh lemon. We're going to need a little bit of olive oil to fry them in, and a little bit of butter, unsalted or salted. This dish doesn't have a huge amount of salt in it. This happens to be salted butter, but if you prefer, use unsalted butter. Also, if you want to make this vegetarian, at least to the extent that if you eat vegetarian and you do eat fish, you certainly could omit the butter, add a little bit of extra olive oil in your pan if you need it for frying. Or, of course, if you used vegan butter, that would kind of give you that, mimic that flavor of the butter as it browns a little bit. All right, for our leeks, what we're going to need is leeks, of course. All right, this is a leek. In case anyone hasn't ever seen a leek, L-E-E-K. And this is so simple and delicious. We're going to go over preparing the leek and what we need to do with it in a minute. But the other stuff that we're going to need for this, again, so simple. We need some nice extra virgin olive oil. We got some salt and pepper, and I'm going to use curry powder. Excuse me, in this today. You can use any type of seasoning you want on this. If you want to use smoked paprika, use the same measurements. It's about 1.5 teaspoons. You could use chili powder. You could use, if you want to spice it up a little bit, use cayenne pepper. But we're going to use chili powder today. So, believe it or not, those few ingredients are going to turn into a wonderful meal. We're going to start with the leeks first because that takes about 20-25 minutes in the oven. The fish is going to go by so fast, it'll be like we won't even know what happened. So, let's get cooking. Okay, first things first, I've got my oven preheating to 400. As we said earlier, this is a leek. A lot of people don't cook leeks at home. I don't know why. I don't really do it all that often myself, but they're delicious and they're really easy. So we've got our leek, and this green, all this green up here, unfortunately, is really fibrous and tough, and there's not much that you can do with it. So, of course, you could use this put this in your compost heap. So what I like to do with it is I'll go up until I kind of feel that it's not, it starts to get soft up along the top of it. So in this case, it's going to be just about right there. So we want to cut off all that green. Throw that in there. Now, the thing with leeks is you've got to wash them because they get, the way they grow, they'll get dirt and stuff in them. So for this particular preparation, what I like to do is I like to leave the root end on for right now. All right, and then I'm going to try to cut it in half. All right, and then you see there's the inside of the leek. It's kind of almost like an onion. Leeks are in the onion family. All right, so then what you want to do is you want to take it over your sink and just want to kind of gently run through the leeks. or run through the different layers of it. All right, make sure you get any dirt and stuff that's none in there in this one. And then throw it on the tile with the rest of ours and let that dry a bit while I do this one. And again, like I said, just give it a run through. And those other ones are pretty dry, but I'll give them a final pat. We're going to roast them, so you do want to try to get them as dry as possible. I've rinsed them out. I put them upside down on the cut side down on my towel. I think that might help them dry out a little bit more. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off this little bit of the root end. You don't want to cut it off too far because, of course, you don't want to waste any of it. And also, you want them to try to keep your leeks together. So we'll just cut off that little bit at the end. And when you're doing leeks or purchasing them especially for roasting like this, try to get them all about the same thickness so, of course, that they all cook together. Our oven is preheated. Let's move these little leekies out of the way for a minute. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take a bigger bowl, and I've got about 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Let's put it in our bowl. Let's get it all out of there because olive oil is too expensive to waste. All right, and then we've got our salt, our pepper, and our curry powder. Let's just put it all in there. Good. Give it a good little stir, get it all incorporated, or as much as possible at least. That's good. All right, put that aside for a moment. Then we've got a 9x12 pan. Oh, we're going to need some tin foil. Give me a second. And a little bit of olive oil for the bottom. And we can give that a little spread around. All right, then we want to take our leaves and we want to put them in our pan cut side up. Hopefully I can fit all these guys in here. Woo! Good thing I put the cover on that. Look at that, we got just about enough room. Okay, so then I'm going to take our little spice mixture. Now the curry is going to give them a nice little color as well. Of course, if you were using paprika or chili powder, you're going to get a kind of more reddish color. I'm going to just kind of spread this all on each one. I'm going to use every bit of this, but I'm going to get a little bit on each one as we go down the line. And then I'm going to go over again and put a little bit of pressure on the edge of the brush just so that we start the olive oil to go into the layers of the leeks. That's good. And then we can just kind of pour some over each one. Now, as these cook, it's possible you might need a little bit more, although I don't think we will. And then, of course, you'll see we got still all of our dried stuff in there, so I'm going to take that and liberally brush it over our leeks. All right, that's all there is to it. All right, and then we're going to simply cover this with tin foil or aluminum foil relatively tightly. Okay, so this is going to go in our 450-degree oven, which I don't think I adjusted my rack, so we'll move that over, but that's going to go for about 20 minutes or so. You want the leeks to be just about fork tender. Now let's check this out. Yep. I'm going to just move the rack down.
400 or 450?
400. That's 400 degrees and the middle rack. Covered for about 20 minutes. Okay, Google, set a timer for 20 minutes.
All right, 20 minutes, starting now.
Now, after that 20 minutes and our leeks are fork tender, we're just going to uncover them and we're going to let them bake in the oven or roast in the oven for another 5 or 10 minutes till they get golden brown. But we'll show you that when the time is come. See you in a bit. Okay, we've been in the oven for 20 minutes. It's starting to smell delicious. I'm going to take this off a bit. And I'm going to see about our doneness. Yep, that's just about where I want it to be. Okay, so I don't think we need any more olive oil on it. We're going to put this back in the oven for about another 10 minutes. Okay, Google, set a timer for 10 minutes. And we'll see you in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and we're starting now.
Okay, our 10 minutes is up. Let's take out our, delicious smelling leeks with curry. And that's all there is to it. Okay, to pan sear our cod, first of all, I've got my frying pan, a non-stick frying pan on the range heating up. Okay, and the rest of the process is really easy. I'm going to pat it down. You want it to be as dry because we want to get a nice crust on there. All right, and then we want to salt and pepper it liberally. So all the seasoning we're going to put in here, we are going to do a little bit of lemon, but other than salt and pepper, we're going to keep this nice and simple. I'm going to salt and pepper both sides. This is fresh ground pepper. Pat it down a little bit. Give it a turn. And do the other side. Our salt. I'll put this aside for now. All right, now that I've got them both salted and peppered. I don't have to worry about getting both hands dirty. So then I'm going to take it and I'm going to lightly flour them. We want to get the flour on there, not caked on, but we want to have a nice coating. Give it a little pat. Make sure you get up on your sides. And shake off the excess. Move it back to our plate for now. Okay, that's good. All right, let me rinse my hands off. Oop, let's give it a little bit more pat. I'm kind of heavy there. And I'll meet you over at the range. Okay, my pan is nice and hot. I've got it over a medium heat. And we want to add a couple tablespoons of your olive oil. Depending on how big your pan is, you want it to coat the pan well and maybe have about an 1/8 of an inch. And that's warm, so we're going to take our couple tablespoons of butter and we're going to let that melt in there. And again, for this, we're going to need the juice of a whole lemon. So I've got my lemon cut in half. And I do want all of our butter to get melted. Now, I did say lighten it up a little bit. Like I said, you don't have to use the butter if you don't want to. There's really, it looks like a lot of butter, but there's not even 2 tablespoons in there. And remember, there's no fat in your fish, or very little fat anyway. All right, so our butter's melted, and you see how it's foamy? That's kind of where you want it to be, all right? So then you want to take your first piece of fish and gently lie it in the pan. Now, it would be easier for us to shoot it over at the counter, but I don't have a pan big enough that fits my little induction burner, and I would have had to do them one at a time, which would have been fine, but since this is our dinner, we're going to eat right when it's done. But anyway, if you use a smaller pan, that's fine. Do half of your oil, half your butter, and do one piece. Thing is, you don't want to crowd the pan, of course. All right, now, hard part comes is we want to wait. This is going to take a good 3-4 minutes to form a nice crust before we flip it over. And we'll see you then. Okay, guys, I ended up adjusting the heat on the range here to about medium high, in between medium and medium high. I've gotten used to my little induction cooktop, and it's a little bit hotter on medium than this. But so we should have a nice brown. You want to flip it gently, but not do that. All right, so see, we've got a nice brown crust there. And same on this one. And again, now we just want to let it sit there and do its thing. Probably 3-4 minutes. Okay, we've been browning on the other side for 3 minutes now. Now we want to add our lemon juice and get burned. Get that all out. Let's get the other. Of course, I'm just catching the seeds in my hand here, trying to. Could have juiced it if you wanted, or squeezed it prior. All right, we're going to let that cook for about another minute. Just get all those nice juices mixed in, and then we're ready to eat. Okay, and then just one more little thing. Let's plate it up, or at least on our serving plate for now. And I like to give the pan juices a little stir. And let's just drizzle a little over the top. Okay, and there we go. Okay, it's time to eat. Thank you, hon. Ciao. For all your hard work. Okay, let's dig in. What do you want to go for first? The fish or the leeks?
We'll try the leeks first.
All right, do the leeks. However you want to eat these, you can cut them with a fork. Be dainty. Those are delicious. They have a really subtle onion, celery, delicious. This is a nice change.
First time I've had it. It's good. Yeah.
It's a nice change for a side dish or a vegetable. Of course, you could pair this with some rice as well, or some mashed potatoes, or a nice salad with your fish. Delicious.
That's good.
I love the curry. Again, you can add any spices to that you want. Make it your own.
They're good.
Delicious. If I do say so myself. Alright, let's see how our fish nice and flaky. Just kind of a really simple.
Oh, that's delicious.
The lemon tastes really nice in it. It's just, you taste the flavor of the fish come through. Cod's a very delicate tasting flaky fish anyway, but well, I hope you guys have enjoyed making this with us, or that you will make it indeed. Please do let me know. I think that's all I have to say.
Please like and subscribe, and check out cherryhillhomecooking.com, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Ciao. I'm too engrossed in eating.
Oh my God. It's almost like
What?
a good healthy meal too.
Oh, it is. So yeah, I mean, other than the little bit of butter we used in it, I mean, there's some salt in it. You could, although it's not really too salty, but yep, it's a much lighter than cream with pasta. Right?